Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Warriors Group podcast. I am your host, Albert Ramos, and we are going to be talking today about deployments. Specifically, how to be good and not spend all your money after deployment. Because trust me, in the deployments that I've had two separate experiences. I've had the experience to where I go on deployment, I don't really put a goal to my money, and 6 months after deployment, all of my deployment money is gone. That sucks. And I've also been on the other spectrum to where I put a name to the money and then I am able to make more money out of that deployment money. Today we are here with our co-host for today, Patrick, the Rain Man Rainey. Patrick, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. Here. Thank you for helping me out with this video today. So we're gonna be talking. You've been on deployment before, right?
I've had 3 separate deployments.
3 separate deployments? Yes. Okay. And would you say, right, that you're better off by making sure that you have a name set aside for that deployment money?
You definitely need to allocate where your money is going to go. Because if you don't, your money is just going to go wherever it wants to.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to be looking back. You're going to be looking back like, where the hell did all my money go?
With all the regrets that, I wish I would have spent my money on X.
Exactly. Yeah. And the first thing that I want to talk about in this video is I want to talk about the credit score, right? Okay. Because some of us go out there on deployment with an okay credit score, right? Okay. But then whenever they come back, they have a better credit score. Or that's one of the things that I actually recommend you guys to work on is your credit score, right? Because if you work on your credit score, you are going to be better off financially because you're going to be looked at more favorably whenever it's time for you to get money. Okay? Now, Gunny, but how do you do that? I'm going to tell you the easiest way for you to work on your credit score, right? If you are on deployment and you're like, man, like, what should I pay off? Instead of you putting in money or just a little bit more money on each of your cards, here's what I want you to do, right? Let's set an example. Let's say you have credit card 1, credit card 2, and credit card 3. If you have credit card 1 for credit card 2 and 3, what I want you to do is I want you to put the bare minimum payment out there. Bare minimum payment. Because you're making that extra deployment money. So I want you to concentrate all of the extra income that you are getting on simply paying off that credit card number 1. And then once you're done paying off that credit card number 2, instead of you putting that money into your savings account, what I want you to do is I want you to add that money into credit card number 2 and so on and so forth until you are completely debt free. How do you feel about that?
So essentially you want anyone who's doing that to snowball their
Correct.
Got it.
That is actually called snowballing, okay? That is called the snowball effect in order for you to get out of debt fast. That's the way that I got out of debt. I actually utilized this on myself on deployment to actually get out of debt, and it worked wonders in order for me to get out of debt. Do you use any other systems?
I use the same system.
The same system? Actually, I want to talk to you guys about, there's actually another system out there that is called the avalanche effect. The avalanche effect is the same thing. It's just that instead of you working on the actual payment, you're working on the interest rate. Let me put you an example. Credit card 1, 2, and 3. Credit card 1 has a 19% interest, credit card 2 has a 15% interest, and credit card 3 has a 10% interest. I want you to put the money into credit card number 1, which is the one with the 19% interest, because there is more money going towards interest than what is going towards your principal. But Gunny, when can I change this, right? Or how do I know which one to use first? Well, I would recommend you to utilize the avalanche effect if your payments are similar. What I mean by this, let's say credit card 1, credit card 2, and credit card 3 are all $25 each. Then I will tell you, brother, focus on the one with the highest interest so that way you can pay that one off because that one's the one that's screwing you the most. How do you feel about that?
sounds exactly what I would do if I were in that situation. You pay off your credit cards with the highest interest first, because if you don't, when that bill comes, they're just going to add it to the back end. So now you owe more on that credit card than what you would have if you hadn't paid it off.
Correct. And you know something, another thing, right? That when you're on deployment, I saw that a lot of Marines did. It was spending money on dumb stuff. And I want you guys, what I want you guys to do right now is I want you guys to go to warriortalkblog.com, okay? warriortalkblog.com. And I want you guys to go check out the page or the post that I did, because there's a picture there with one Marine holding 2 chickens. Those 2 stupid ass chickens were both like $15, $20 each, and they were like 7 chickens that someone paid for just to, that's money that you could be putting into something else that would essentially make you more money. So do not spend money on unnecessary things. Save that money up for a down payment on a house or a good down payment on a vehicle if that's what you actually want. How do you feel about that?
I think the major part is, even in that preparation phase, making sure you have that mindset, that plan. Like, okay, I know I'm going to be gone for the next 6 months to a year. What is my money going to do? And stick to that plan. Yeah. Having that financial discipline.
You know why? Why is it that I think that a lot of people don't just spend money on dumb stuff? Let me tell you why. And this is from personal experience, right? They don't allocate money to one of their goals. That's the main reason, right? So if you're prepping to be on deployment or about to go on deployment, here's what I want you to do. I want you to set a goal, whether it'll be to get buff on deployment, to reach a certain amount of bench press, or to complete the deployment successfully, right? And then when you come back, I want you to allocate that money to a personal goal that you have. That way, you're not staring at your bank account growing. Oh, I got 3,000, I got 4,000. And then now you feel that you're under the obligation of you having to go out there and spend that money. No, I'm utilizing this money towards this, towards X.
So have it be your reward.
Have it to be your reward. Yes, thank you. But set it up, right? Because here's the biggest mistake that I see Marines making. They come back from deployment and they want to buy a car, a depreciating asset. Hey, I don't blame them. You earned it, right? You just went out there and defended the freedom for this country. Do with your money what you want, right? However, how about we do this? Deployments are usually 6 to 9 months, correct? What's the longest deployment you've done?
7 months.
7 months, right? I did a 9-month deployment, right? Here's what I recommend that you do. That extra money that you set as a reward at the end of the deployment with a new vehicle, what I want you to do with that is I want you to open up an investment account and look at the car that you want, whether it'll be Tesla, whether it'll be a Ford Mustang, whether it'll be whatever type of car it is that you have in mind right now, right? And I want you to open up an investment account, and I want you to allocate that monthly payment that you will be making on that car, investing it in deployment in the company that makes your vehicle, meaning that will be Ford, Hyundai, Tesla, and invest that amount of money each month. Because I can guarantee you, if you do that at the beginning of the deployment, you will most likely have more money in the long run in order for you to buy a vehicle from that company. The difference is that now, instead of you driving it off the lot and depreciating the asset that you just bought, now that company is paying you to own one of their vehicles every single time that there's a dividend that's going to be given out. Or whenever the stock splits. Now the company's actually giving you money. You already given money toward the investors in that company because you're buying one of their vehicles. Might as well be one of the investors as well and drive the vehicle. A lot of people don't think about that because we're programmed wrong in the military. We're programmed wrong. We're programmed as consumers.
Yeah. I think that would be a different conversation. But I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So let's say I'm about to go on deployment. I have no credit.
Okay.
And we know that with interest rates or a better credit score, we get more favorable interest rates. Yeah. So how can I, as a person with no credit, start to build favorable credit? So when I get done with this deployment, I know I'm going to either get favorable interest rates for my car, if that's so choose, or going towards getting that favorable interest rate on that house.
Okay, so that's actually a really great question, okay? And I cover this in the financial classes that I give in Camp Pendleton, okay? Mm-hmm. And I always put this example, right? Because the majority of the classes that I give in Camp Pendleton are for the new joints that join the battalion, right? And this is what I tell them, right? If you have zero credit, you're brand new PFC, you just went into the fleet, right? Get the military start card. That's the first card that you should be getting. Because think about it. Everything that you need, you can buy at the PX. If you choose to not buy it at the PX or the MCX, that's on you. I highly encourage you to get the military start card. Because it has the lowest interest that you will get as a brand new PFC Lance Corporal hitting the fleet, right? Now, here's what I tell you. Credit card 1, military start card. They're gonna give you like a low ass pre-approval amount, right? They're probably gonna tell you like $1,000 and like $1,000 for clothing and like $600 for everything else, right? Which that's okay. Because they want you to demonstrate, a lot of credit cards won't do that. They want you to demonstrate responsible credit behavior, right? Now, 6 months after you open up the military start card, I want you to request a credit increase on that balance. Because what that is going to do is that is going to increase the amount of credit limit that you have, and that will be looked up favorably whenever it comes to your credit score. The second thing that I want you to do at the 1 year mark of you having that military start card, I want you to open up another credit card account, another revolving credit account. That's what credit cards are called, revolving credit accounts. I want you to open up a second one a year after with probably like your financial institution, right? Like, you know, or if you shop a lot in one store, like say, for example, I shop a lot at Costco, right? Yeah. I would probably get the Costco card if you do most of your shopping at Costco, right? So I would get that one. At the 6 month mark, I would request a credit increase. That way you have more credit limit on that, right? Okay. That helps your credit score. Third year, this is going to be the biggest credit decision that you're going to make whenever it comes to credit card. Because that third card, I want you to look at it as that is the last card, the last revolving credit account that you will ever open in your entire life. Usually, you know, especially if you're in the military, the platinum card, you know, the gold card, the American Express gold card or platinum card, that's a good decision to make, right? Because you get a lot of perks and you don't have to pay the high ass interest that you have to pay usually if you're a civilian, right? I want you to open that up and I want you to do it. And every so often, I would say every year after, request a credit increase on those accounts. Here's the kicker. I want you to leave those 3 credit cards below 10% of their credit limit. I'll say that again. I want you to leave those credit cards below 10% on that credit limit. So if you're out there on deployment right now and you're considering getting another credit card or working on your credit, do it with a credit card. Okay, do it with a credit card, but be responsible on how you open up that credit card. Best thing, and this is the part that really killed me, man, when I was a Lance Corporal, right? I didn't know how much I could use. Navy Federal approved me for $11,000.
You didn't use the whole amount, though, right?
I sure did. Oh, I sure did. I sure used the entire amount. I'm Puerto Rican, doc. Dude, I'm Puerto Rican. I was like, I ain't taking this to my grave. I was like, shit, if I die, my wife's gonna pay that. You see what I'm saying? Or better yet, what I did was I got the what's it called? The Jaime's over there laughing, man. You know what I did? what I did was I got the security thing. So if something were to happen to me on deployment, my wife didn't have to pay. They don't have to worry about it. Because the bank would take care of it, right? That's why I'm saying, like, that's why I'm so passionate about this, guys. Because there is all the dumbass decisions that a Lance Corporal can make. Lance Corporal Ramos made them, and then it took me a lot in order for me to get away from that. So that is what I would recommend if you're trying to work on your credit, right? While you're on deployment, those are the things that I recommend that you actually do. Okay. Any other questions that you have?
Oh, no.
Does that answer your question, though?
No, that is
okay,
perfect question.
Okay, so last thing that I want to cover whenever it comes to working on your finances while you're on deployment is I want you to ensure that when you get back from deployment, okay, I want you to ensure, man, that you do not spend all your money going back home. Because that's the biggest thing, man, that I see is like, oh, well, I'm going to go out there and see my family. Family that, by the way, 9 times out of 10 will most likely not even drive 15 minutes to see you after you spend a whole 7 months out there on deployment fighting for their freedom. And then you're going to go out there, you're going to get an Uber or your mom, you're going to have to fill up your mom's car with gas so that way you can go out there and party and drink shots and they're going to take up all your money. And then you're going to be the one that's going to end up being screwed. Or worse yet, man, like this is an unspoken subject. Family members that know that you just got back from deployment and then now expect you to help them through whatever situation they're going through. That's okay, like help them. But if you do not have a way to replenish that deployment money, brother, you're going to have to stay in the Marine Corps and go on plenty of deployments so just lose the money. You know? Now, the last subject that I want to touch on, right, before going on deployment is vehicles. There is actually something that's called the Service Member Relief Act. Are you familiar with the Service Member Relief Act? Yeah. Service Member Relief Act allows you that if you are an active duty service member that has orders, take advantage of the Service Members Relief Act. Because guess what? My vehicle that I drive, it's a lease. Because if I get orders to deploy, I'm turning that baby back to the dealership. That frees up $650 a month that I can go ahead and utilize and save up for anything else that I have on deployment. Same thing if you are renting right now. I'm sorry, I almost threw up renting. Oh man. But if you're renting or if you're living somewhere that is like it's just you by yourself, if you're a staff NCO, break that lease with the Service Member Relief Act and utilize that money to something else. Utilize that money to something else. If you do not know what you can do with your finances on deployment, reach out to me. There's going to be a link down there or up there that's going to give you access to plenty of other resources and plenty of other videos in order for you to be helped throughout this process. So guys, you already know how to reach me. Patrick, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, you guys can reach out to me via my Instagram. That's @pat_REI, or on my Facebook, Patrick Ringy.
Awesome. Guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you.